Last week we covered the famous blockbuster movies of 1982. Today, we pick 2 horror movies from the same year and pit them head-to-head on Versus. What is up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Versus. I am Brandon. Alongside me always is Andrew and Chris.
Oh, yeah?
Hello.
Oh, yeah? Oh, yeah? All right, today, to go along with our 1982 theme that we're stuck on right now, we are going to be covering Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, versus Friday the 13th, Part 3. Or 3D, if you will.
Or 3D.
Or 3D.
If you're illiterate.
If you're illiterate, yeah, I guess.
If you're a ding-dong.
And to keep up also with the trend of us pitting Halloween versus Friday the 13th.
Oh, yeah, pretty much. That's what I was thinking.
Right now, yeah. We're just, well, I mean, why not? Why not?
Well,
they came out the same year.
They seem to do it a lot.
Yeah. Well, this was the last time up until 88.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
which we already covered.
Last Halloween till 88.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. For good and not so good reasons.
Yeah.
I guess. I mean, I get back. I can understand the reasons then.
Oh, yeah.
But now it's like, well, could have been something special.
Yeah.
Could have been something interesting.
Could have been.
So, Chris, why don't you run us through the categories? Some are the same.
Okay.
Mostly the same.
We have 6 categories. Setting. Number 2 is story/script. Number 3 is characters/acting. Number 4 is special effects. Number 5 is scare factor. And number 6 is the kills.
Yeah.
Which
ought to
should
be
always be the finisher.
The finisher?
Yeah.
Kills? Yeah, we don't usually finish with those either.
No. But we should.
But we should. Well, we might consider that in the future then.
Yeah.
Starting today, we're turning over a new leaf.
Okay.
All right, so.
New men.
Number 1. Setting.
I think Friday.
Friday. You get Friday on that?
I could make a case either way, because the setting of Santa Mira is really creepy, but this is one of the iconic camps in the Friday canon, and I love it, so I'm going to Friday.
I hear what both of you are saying, and I agree that it's a very, very iconic camp. I actually love the barn.
Yeah.
I love the whole setting. I love all that. But I have to go Halloween 3 because, like I said, it's very creepy. It's you've got some similar spots for the true fans who've maybe seen Horror's Hallowed Grounds or maybe recognize some of it. It's actually the same. Some of the scenes are actually in the same location as Halloween 2.
Yeah.
But like I said, the Santa Mira is super creepy.
Surveillance cameras everywhere.
Yeah, it's just weird. Yeah. It feels like it's not very far, but it feels like it's in a whole other part of the world.
Yeah.
It really does. So I have to give it to them. I think there's just... I don't think there's anything creepier than a small area where you've got just people that are seemingly controlled by something or weird. They know something. Yeah, it's just
standoffish.
Yeah. Friday, it's more or less the same. Yeah. It might be, it's an iconic camp, but it's more or less the same.
I think, if it wasn't for it being the best camp, if
one of the best,
if it wasn't for the barn, I think the barn makes it really.
That's just what's so stand out to me.
Yeah.
It stands out to me. The barn does.
Yeah.
More than anything.
Yeah,
else.
I agree. That's. I think it's the best part of the camp.
Yeah.
Really, you think about the game.
There's some great scenes.
You think about Friday the 13th, the game.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
We waited. I didn't, but you did. Waited for the barn for how long? Because it's that important. It was so important that they had a whole developmental team making the barn as like a DLC.
Higgins Haven.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
So I mean, it's that important.
It's well, I mean, it tells you
It
something
is.
when you can remember the camp names.
Yeah.
You know, and that's
absolutely.
you know, it's a very easy one to remember.
Yep.
So
I think some of the scenes inside the house were cool too.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Okay.
All right, number 2.
Anyway, number 2 is story/script. And I think we all agree that it's Halloween.
It is Halloween.
Yes.
It is Halloween.
Gotta be.
And this probably won't be quite as long drawn out and dramatic as the last one, because Friday 2 versus Halloween 2 is very, very difficult.
Yeah.
And that was rough. We still need to figure that one out.
Yeah.
But for this one, definitely Halloween 3.
Yes.
You know, there are some things about the impact or the direction. You know, for Halloween, this went in an entirely different direction. For the longest time, I mean, it became a cult film. For the longest time, it's, you know, there's nothing like it. I mean, well, there's still nothing like it, but for the longest time, it's been shit on because it's no Michael Myers.
Oh, yeah.
And some people refuse to watch it, or refuse to even try it again, because they were so upset at the lack of Michael Myers.
I think I said this in one of our Halloween shows before, but my grandma, who's a huge Halloween fan, actually, she went and asked for her money back after watching Halloween 3. Because she didn't see a trailer or nothing for Halloween 3.
What did I just watch?
She just seen that the theater was going to have Halloween 3, so she went to watch it, and she's like, this is not Halloween 3. This isn't Halloween. You tricked me. I want my money back. right now.
You know, it's kind of cliche to say now, maybe, or it's been kind of, it's like beating a dead horse, but if I do truly believe if it was just called Season of the Witch, it would have been fine. Agree. We would be talking about a different thing.
Even if it just said Halloween Season of the Witch instead of Halloween 3 Season of the Witch.
I think there still would have had confusion, but not
near as much.
Yeah, because I mean, if you watched the first 2 and then you see a 3, you're going to expect it to. Exactly. Well, I thought he was dead, but I want to see it.
Yep.
Yeah, it is.
I understand what they were thinking.
Sure,
I understand.
And I actually really, really like the idea now of an anthology series.
Yeah, I would like to have saw that.
Especially if Carpenter or his crew were involved, or Tommy Lee Wallace and them were involved. You got that similar style music. I think that would be amazing.
I've heard that the premise for the next year's is out there. I forget what it is right offhand, but they were. I heard somebody, maybe it's Tommy Lee Wallace, in an interview talk about the next one that came out in '83.
83.
I'd like to see that.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen that or heard about. Yeah, I have to look at that. I'll have to look that up. I'm sure I've actually heard it before, and I just don't remember.
The only thing that, I mean, there's a few things in Halloween that I really don't like. The girl being a robot at the end,
Ellie,
yeah,
her being a cyborg at the end,
Fembot baby,
is retarded. There was no reason for that.
I hated that part too, because I'm okay with the bad end, or not the bad end. I'm okay with the unhappy ending.
Right.
Oh yeah.
But I think she should have been frantic and screaming into the phone with him.
Yeah.
I think that'd have been cool, because there's no reason for that. I think that they tried for the shock, and it just some people may like it. That's fine. It wasn't the worst thing. It just, I don't know. I kind of like the fact that since you left a lot of things open-ended, I think it'd been nice to have her along there too, because she helped him escape, and she was right there, and I think it would have been.
It seemed like it was just a time killer.
It was just one more thing to kind of throw it in a jab at the people, and be like, here you go, and then he just like fought her off and didn't even act that upset by it.
Yeah,
it's like, hey, I still got to get to a gas station and tell them to shut the channels off.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was just weird. It was out of place. But other than that,
I voted for Halloween 3. One of the things I didn't like about Friday the 13th 3 is the implied rape.
Oh yeah,
like that Jason had motive to rape this girl.
And after watching it again, I noticed that it was implied, but not heavily implied.
Right.
Like there was something like it crosses your mind. Like it's because he attacked her and pushed. She pushed him off of him and fought, and then all of a sudden she passed out.
Yeah. And
it was just, I mean, it was weird. It could go either way. Well, I mean, it's very weird.
Yeah, he has no sexual motivation.
No.
Should never.
No, that's too much. I do love the final girl in this movie though.
Yeah.
So I mean, I do like the overall characters and plot. I know we're not there yet, but I do like the plot. I like that he got his mask in this. It's a hockey mask. but it's still more of the same.
Yeah.
This, I have to, although it was criticized at the time, I have to give it a 3, even with some of the plot holes, just because it was so different and
unique.
And I do appreciate that, and I really, really enjoy it for what it is, despite no Michael Myers.
Yeah.
So I think it's with the same formula slasher. If you pit this, if you pit a story of any Halloween movie up against Halloween 3,
story wise,
I'm still probably gonna pick 3. And that's coming from a huge fan.
Yeah.
Just that can and that's changed over time. It used to not be that way. I would still rather watch 1 and 2, and I still enjoy them way more. But they're great.
Yeah.
As as thrillers or as scary movies, horror movies. But yeah, this is just a whole different thing.
Yeah, I agree.
And I have to point out one more time, there has never, and we were sitting here trying to think about if there was something else we should throw in here with it, if there was another movie we should try and find to pit up against it, even for future verses. I can't think of literally anything that is similar to Halloween 3 in any fucking way whatsoever.
No, not really.
No, in any way. It's one of a kind.
Yeah. I'm sure there's something out there, but it's probably something
maybe
nobody knows about.
But there I cannot think of anything that is. You got mass killing kids, or rich people killing kids in that way. I just don't. There might be something, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
This feels like it's a one of a kind of movie.
Right, so
to this day, it still feels one of a kind.
Yeah.
And my God, the balls to kill kids,
and the way they did.
Oh my God. To this day, you don't. They left it open for interpretation, but they were ballsy enough to kill one. But it's implied that they killed everybody.
Yeah, pretty
so
much.
That's pretty crazy. Anyway, definitely a no-brainer for me. Halloween 3.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, me too.
So,
all right. Now, number 3, characters and acting. Acting.
Man, you know what?
What?
I have to go Halloween again. And I like 3, and
Yeah, I do too.
I really, really enjoy, and this is a very close call for me too. Even as a Halloween fan, this is a very close call for me, because I love the final girl for number 3, for Friday 3. Love the final girl. I like a good portion of the characters. Some of them were a little over the top, the biker gang and stuff, so over the top.
Yeah.
But weird. Shelly, I have a love-hate thing for Shelly. I used to hate Shelly.
Yeah.
I still kind of hate the character, but he's coming around on me a little bit because I like Larry Zerner.
Yeah.
I don't know. After seeing some interviews and stuff with him, he seems like a cool guy.
I hate Shelly.
But I still hate Shelly. Dan O'Harely, I guess.
Yeah.
However you pronounce his last name. O'Harely, I think it is.
I believe, yeah.
Something like that. Superb in Halloween 3.
Yes.
Yeah. Super evil. He sells it well.
Yeah.
He's an awesome actor anyway.
One of the best bad guys in a scary movie.
In any movie, I think.
Yeah.
He's awesome.
Yeah.
He's kind of like your over-the-top Bond villain in this.
Yeah, kind of.
It's like a Bond movie.
Except
it's kind of like a Bond movie kind of in a horror genre.
Except more evil.
Oh, it's crazy. Sinister.
You can say he's over the top, but at the same time, he's delivering things so smooth.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And you can see the sinister underneath.
Yeah, there's a lot of subtle evil.
There's a lot of depth
I
in
believe
dialogue.
that the dude in real life is probably a pretty evil guy.
He actually reminds me of Dr. Loomis, but a bad guy.
Yeah.
Though he's got a way with words that you're like, this guy's a sick motherfucker, but I understand.
Yeah. Good point.
He's got a good way of coming across here.
Yeah, I said it in our Halloween podcast. He reminds me of Montgomery Burns.
Yeah,
a lot, even in look.
Absolutely. And Tom Atkins is great in it too.
Yeah,
I love Tom Atkins. Ladies man.
I could have gone either way in this one too. I love those two, O'Harely and I know I butcher his name every time I say it. And Tom Atkins.
Yeah, I feel like I do.
Yeah, so it's a strange name, and I chose Friday just for the greater ensemble of characters.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
There's I mean, Fridays aren't really known for their acting, but there's some pretty good acting.
That's some
there.
good moments. The final girl was amazing. I think her steady decline into madness by the end of it was top notch.
Yeah.
I really do. Especially out of most of them, I think it was top notch.
Richard Brooker is one of my favorite Jasons.
Yeah.
In that scene where he's looking for her, she's hiding up on the beam and he's looking for her and throwing stuff around in that cabin. That's pretty terrifying.
Yeah, that's pretty good. And she's just like weirdly losing her grip.
Yeah.
I always thought that was kind of weird because she looked like she was resting pretty easily on that fucking beam, like on that, and all of a sudden she just like starts to turn. Like, you could have probably kept your balance there. Whatever.
She was just so scared.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Rick, the quasi boyfriend, such a dick.
Oh, I just didn't much care for him.
Yeah,
I liked his death and I didn't at the same time.
Yeah, what it could have been.
Yeah.
But yeah, some pretty good acting because he was despicable boyfriend.
Yeah, he was. He really was. Yeah, I could have spent the weekend with so and so. Like, oh, okay, you could have, but you're here.
Honest.
Here you are. I mean, yeah, he's being honest. But here, I chose to be with you, and you're difficult ass.
Yeah, I mean, he's just being honest.
Just being you, man. Yeah. Being you. Acting wise, everybody that played their part pretty well.
Yeah.
I don't think. I'm trying to think if anybody stood out in Friday 3 that I just absolutely hated. I don't think so. I mean, Shelley was obnoxious, but he's supposed to be. He did great.
Set off camera, the girl, the death.
Oh yeah,
chick.
That's a good point. Thank you for reminding me. The stoner chick.
Yeah.
I call her stoner chick because I can't remember her name. Her running through the house frantic after Shelley. Oh, Shelley's dead. Yeah. And then he sticks her with the hot fire poker. It was just that was just awful acting. Yeah. Just awful. I'm sure it's notable to most people because of that.
Yeah, some of the work.
And in Halloween 3, a couple side characters maybe had some weird lines, but I don't really, nothing offhand.
I think like the most corniest there is would be like the mom and dad of the boy.
There's some corny dialogue there.
Boy that,
but they're kind of supposed to be that. You know what I mean? They're supposed to be that too.
Yeah.
So
we're on vacation.
Yeah. Yeah. I think they're supposed to be obnoxious.
I think
because I honestly kind of think you're supposed to question,
not feel bad.
Well, like you're supposed to wrestle with it. I think maybe like you're like, well, this kid just died, and this was ballsy, and this was really gruesome and nasty, and I hate that for him, and I hate that for the kid. But at the same time, you're like, I don't know. I think you kind of back and forth, like.
Yeah.
Anyway, so on to the next category.
All right, that is special effects.
Because you picked Halloween in that last one too, didn't you? Okay, so Halloween wins that one.
Yep.
Okay. Special effects?
Special effects.
I pick Halloween.
Yep, me too.
Me too. You mean you didn't like the 3D in Friday?
No, I hate 3D.
Hey, there were some great special effects in Friday. Most of it was not that great. The biggest problem was not even so much the kills as it was some of the camera shots.
Oh man,
like the yo-yo.
Yeah, they stick
stuff,
out.
the stuff like that. Okay, stop.
I hate gimmicks, man.
I know.
I hate gimmicks.
You gotta get through them, I guess. But now the spear gun kill, I think, still pretty decent for the most part. I think the shot at the camera is far less cheesier now than the actual effect because her eye. Because her eye looks terrible.
Yeah.
Now
my favorite effect in the whole movie is where she hangs Jason.
Yeah,
that looks brutal.
Yeah, it looks really brutal. Looks really good. Yep. Really shows the weight of him too, pushing him down.
Yeah.
Now on the other hand, Halloween 3, there was a lot of there's a couple cheesy effects.
Oh yeah.
A couple weird things that didn't make sense, like the dude pouring gasoline on himself and then just lighting the lighter and it blowing up.
Yeah.
I guess in a movie that can happen. But now when she was playing with that microchip, from that tag,
melted her
and
face.
Shot the beam in her mouth.
Yeah.
That was sick.
Dude, that looks sick.
Still to this day, I think looks really good.
Oh yeah, I think so too. I think
the kid's death looks really good.
I think the kid's death was one of the probably one of the coolest at the time.
Yeah, and it still looks really good on a dummy. It's a dummy, and then and I don't know.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
with the snakes. And the bugs.
Yeah. Nasty.
It looks nasty.
Everything else looks great. The all the robots.
Yeah, for the time they don't look bad.
No, they look pretty good. I think.
I think it holds up all right.
The only spot that sticks out as clunky to me is Conal Cochran when he's getting at the end.
Yeah,
when he gets killed or evaporated or whatever.
I think you could have rotoscoped that and made it look better.
I think so too. Yeah, because he just had a weird looking clay. Figure that was just.
That's not enough to take it away. From this
there's a lot of crap in movies like that back in the day. But I still give it to Halloween. There's too many good effects. Very gruesome compared to. I feel like there was a little bit more gruesome scenes in that one.
Oh yeah,
for the most part.
Yeah,
so Halloween was telling. Scare factor.
Scare factor. Friday.
I'll give it to Friday.
Yeah, Friday.
I'll give it to Friday. I'll edge it out. It was another close call. And you actually made a really good point. Friday is a scary film. Yeah. Most of the Fridays are. I mean, later ones aren't really super scary, but as a kid, you're pretty creeped out by all of them, right? Yeah. I mean, just the fact of getting killed by a big brute is pretty creepy. He got the mask in this one. It kind of personified him. It was an iconic thing that changed the franchise.
Yep, made him even creepier.
Made him even creepier and even bigger. I think anytime you have an isolated setting with a group of people getting picked off one by one, it's creepy.
Yeah.
Jason's always going to be pretty scary in a way. And I think, kind of get back what we said about setting, Halloween 3's got some really, really creepy settings with, Conal Cochran being the overlord of this little town and, wanting to kill kids. And, I mean, all them robots of his were super creepy. Like, dudes in suits just sitting around guarding stuff and patrolling, and that was weird, man.
Cameras everywhere.
Creepy, nice cars driving around. Yeah. Cameras everywhere.
Nobody in the streets. It was just deserted.
Yeah.
But your point was, as a kid, you're creeped out by Jason more.
Yeah.
So Friday the 13th scared you more.
Yeah.
As an adult, Halloween 3 scares us more.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or creeps us out more because we're fully aware and skeptical of big business types and government types and stuff like that. So what he's doing,
it's a little more realistic, I guess.
In a way, right?
I mean, as far-fetched as it is, it's kind of...
Well, you don't have an invincible... Like, there's no such thing as some big, brute, super strength, invincible being.
If he's on PCP or something.
Well, still. You're not going to... I think there's some realism to both, I guess, but... Yeah, I think you had a really good point. It was with the setting and everything, I think Halloween 3's creepier.
Yeah.
But, as a kid... it's a nice formula. I don't know. I think it's very close. It's very close. But I have to give it to Friday because it did freak me out more.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it freaked me out way more than a kid than even this did as an adult.
And I'm saying, I watched them as a kid.
No, this one freaked me out more as an adult.
I'm just going off of what the scare factor would be, what scared me more the first time I watched these.
Yeah.
So,
I guess what we should say is that Halloween 3 did creep us out more as an adult, but it creeped us out in a different way.
Yeah.
Yeah. As a kid, you're terrified of a lot of things.
Yeah.
There's terrified.
Yeah, Halloween
there's
3,
freaked out, and then there's terrified.
Halloween 3 creeps me out. Friday scares.
Yeah, especially this Jason.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good way to put it. I think best way to do it. So
there
we give it to Friday.
Yeah, Friday wins.
Friday wins. And that actually ties us up.
That ties us up. Now we have number 6, and that is Kills.
Yes.
And I say Halloween.
Yeah. I say Halloween.
Yeah, I originally said Friday because there's some good kills. Mm-hmm. But yeah, when you're...
It's another close one, too.
Mass genocide on an entire society of kids. Yeah, Halloween.
I think that's kind of where we all agreed. It just barely edged it out.
Yeah.
I mean...
Well, the deaths or the kills in Halloween are quite a bit more graphic.
Yeah. Well, that's a lot of it, too.
Than Friday.
I think overall, the kills in Halloween 3 are a little bit more graphic. Yeah. But, I mean, Friday was they had more kills here, but you had your typical stuff.
Yeah.
But I do think that there was a lot more graphic deaths in, even with the robots, all that was a lot more graphic and gory.
Yeah.
And pretty creative.
And they weren't afraid to kill kids.
And that's the biggest thing that,
I mean, Friday, you could say they're kids because they're teenagers.
Teenagers, but it's not the same. This was a little boy.
Yeah.
I was on the fence about the movie at that point when I watched it the first time, and that scene put it over the edge.
Yeah.
I was like, wow. And plus the ending.
Yeah, because you could assume, like we talked about earlier, that they pretty much kill everybody.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But we haven't talked at all about the scene where they kill her dad in the hospital and they pulls out his sinuses.
We didn't. Yeah, pulls his. That was a really gruesome, non-gory kill.
Right.
Yeah.
That was.
Yeah, they don't show. They show his face stretching, but they never show
it's like
any
his
blood or
cartilage
nothing.
of his nose pops out. It was weird.
Yeah. I mean, the robot thing rips his face off,
sticks his thumb through his eyes.
Pretty much.
But no real blood or gore.
Well, and then there's who was that? There's somebody later on that the robot grabs a hold of the person and tears their head completely off.
Yeah, that was another good one actually. That was that older guy in the town or whatever. I guess.
Oh, the drunk. He
was talking to Tom
guy.
Atkins' character a little bit and telling him some stuff.
Yep.
They're like, you ain't
when
doing
they
that.
catch him, they tear his head off.
Yeah.
Isn't there an implied death where they go after the doctor that's helping him on the phone with a drill?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's gruesome.
Yeah, that was gruesome, and that really upset me a little bit too when I first watched it.
Dude.
It's just like, oh man, she was a cool doctor, and she was out of it. It's like she was in the other town, investigating all this, and now you dead. Ugh. And I got to give a shout out to my boy Dick Warlock, being an awesome robot in this movie. Yeah. Went from Michael Myers to that. Man, he's been in a lot of movies. He was in fucking Casino. Remember that?
Oh yeah,
he's in Casino.
Yeah, he stunt doubled Kurt Russell quite a bit.
Yeah, he did for years.
He's been in a lot of those
for years. That was up until the 90s or
Probably.
something like that. Yeah, or I think it was for years.
The kills in Friday were pretty good.
I thought they were killed.
They were.
The scene where he splits Andy in half, walking on his hands.
Yeah, and
that
was butchered, by the MPAA. But it was still good, and because you can see the aftermath of him being split in half on when he was sitting up in the rafters or whatever. His girlfriend basically got the same Kevin Bacon kill, and it actually looked better.
Yeah,
looked a little bit better.
Yeah.
Shelley is one of those characters that I think we needed to see the death of because he was an obnoxious character, and it was an off-screen.
I wanted
death.
it.
I know, it was kind of an off-screen thing.
But it was kind of funny and true to the character at the same time.
It was, I guess. Yeah, well, it's the boy who cried wolf thing, so I can understand. It's pretty cool. The boyfriend, what was his name again?
Rick,
yes. I have a love-hate thing for his death. His death.
It's a good idea.
It's a great idea, and I think maybe at the time, it would have been interesting to see I don't know how I would have felt about it at the time.
Yeah, with glasses on.
Because right now, it looks awful.
Yeah.
The eye-popping thing's great, but I mean, you could just... That's the thing about a lot of these movies back then, a lot of the Fridays, is you can always tell when they're the puppets.
Yeah. I think if you CG'd it, though, today, it would still look bad.
Probably.
I think that's a hard one to pull off. I do think that's a great, terrifying moment where she's calling to him.
I thought that was good. He was around the corner.
Got him around the corner. Just.
Oh, yeah. I think that's actually probably the scariest part of the movie for me.
Yeah, it might be.
Really?
Yeah.
And then she called for him and said, "I need you," and then right as that happens, he throws him through the window.
Yeah.
Kind of a throwback to number one.
Fucking terrifying.
Yeah. So, well, I mean, I guess Halloween 3 takes it then. Oh,
yep.
Despite all that, Halloween 3.
I kind of feel bad. I only voted for Friday twice.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there were some close calls in there,
and I don't even like Halloween 3. Like, I'm not as near as opposed to it as I used to be.
Yeah.
Since we started talking about Halloween a lot, and I watched it since, I'm not near as opposed to it now as I used to be.
Yeah.
But I'm still not a huge fan.
Right.
I appreciate everything about it, but I also, like you said earlier, I would still rather watch 1 and 2.
Sure.
Even though I can appreciate 3 now, I would still rather watch 1 and 2.
It's not perfect, but it's special. It's special, and I feel like it's.
And I feel like
growing.
I would rather watch Friday 3.
I think,
but I still would rather, like, I still think Halloween 3 should win, like.
Well, the difference is for me is if I'm watching Friday 3, I'm watching Friday 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 2, 3, 4, 5, something like that. Yeah. I can actually put in Halloween 3 whenever the fuck I want.
Yeah, true.
At any time.
True.
And that's the difference here. It's just such a different thing.
You're
it's
absolutely
uncontestable.
Right.
I mean, it's not because of it being an amazing film, but because there's nothing else like it. It stands alone. Yep. With a name that the name links it to a huge franchise that it probably should have never been a part of. Yep. But it's there.
If they wouldn't have, we may not have ever heard of it.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, if it was a different movie, we could be talking about. In theory, we could be talking about how great it is today. A great classic horror film it was back in the day.
Yep. And
it could have been a different thing today. But at the same time, it may not have been talked about the way it was.
Right. Yeah,
because it might have been better for it to be that cult film that people latch onto much later in life.
They more than doubled their money. Their budget was $2 million, and they made
like 14
million.
I mean, it's not bad
it looks like more than a $2 million movie.
It does look like it more than
But Friday Part 3 spent $4 million and made 36.7.
Oh, I mean, it was definitely a bigger box office success. But you can, like I said, I think you can attribute that to word of mouth and lack of Michael Myers.
Oh yeah, I think so too.
But that's still that's an amazing feat for Tommy Lee Wallace for it to look like a much bigger budget film.
Oh yeah.
And
it looks very
and
very well made.
And the cinematography was good, and the lighting and everything else was great, and the dialogue was great, the effects were great, and the music was amazing because you had Carpenter back. I mean,
it's probably, I was debating, it's probably my second favorite Halloween movie. I'd put it over 4.
Really?
So,
yeah. So, it just depends on it. I mean, it depends on the day, probably, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know. It's you really sit down and think about it. It's a very, very good film.
Yeah.
So I think it deserves to be the champion today.
Yeah. Yep. I think we all three think the same thing.
Very good. Well, that'll do it for this episode of Versus, guys. Let us know in the comments below what you think. If you think we made the right decision here.
Which we obviously did.
Which obviously we did. And we will see you all next time for another episode of Versus.
See you.
Bye.